Alright, I'm going to go over the theme shortcodes. So let's go ahead and add a page, and this is actually our page styles. So let's go ahead and publish this and view it. Basically what I'm going to go over is how to make buttons and sliders, all that good stuff. So one thing to note is they're all up here, little shortcuts, so you never have to memorize any of them. So let's start off with add a button. Let's say Google button, and let's fill out the link and click update. And now when we go, what that generated was all the HTML to create a button to google.com. Most of these are pretty straightforward. So the next thing we can do is let's go ahead and add a divider right here. If you leave your mouse over the buttons, they'll kind of give you a summary of what they do. So let's update that, show you the divider. Next thing we want to do is show you these checklists. Now you can add a checklist or an arrow list very easily. If you want just a regular list, you don't need to, you just remove the shortcode and you get yourself a regular list. So pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and delete those. Another thing is a heading. So by default you can add headings via the visual editor. There's this thing called a kitchen sink, and you can say heading and you would just convert it to a heading. But if you want a heading with an underline, you'll need to use this, and there's H1 through H6. So let's just do an H3, which is just heading size 3, and we get a heading size 3 with the underline. You can do anything up to H1 or H6. You notice H1's a lot bigger. So pretty easy. That was the last one. Now the main thing you're probably going to want to use shortcodes for are columns. So for instance, let's say we want 2 half columns. We just click half column and half column. I'm going to go ahead and type in some text though, so you know for 1/2 and 1/2. And the only thing you need to know is the last column. Instead of no, we type yes. So yes, that's the last column. So let's refresh our page. We have 2 half columns. It might look a little weird right now because there's supposed to be a sidebar. We'll go ahead and make that a full width page so it doesn't look all goofy. So there, we now have 2 half columns. Also, one thing you might have noticed is it doesn't matter whether you have a sidebar or the full width. Same shortcodes, everything will get handled for you. All the resizing and etc. So let's go and add more shortcodes. Let's say 1/2, or let's just add quarters. So 1/4 and then 1/4 till we have 4 of them. Let's go ahead and just type in some text, otherwise it's a little hard to see the dots. And as I mentioned before, the only thing that you need to modify is the last, and mark it as yes. So let's update that. We've got our 1/4 columns, and you can add shortcodes in these or whatever you want. It's super easy to use. You can also mix and match columns, so we can do 1/1/2 and then 1/4 for the rest. So let's see that in action. Let's mark our last one as yes. And we have a 1/2 and then 2 quarters. You can do the same thing with 1/3, 2/3. Super easy to make columns however you want. You can use them on any of the pages. And it's basically a summary of the theme shortcodes.